Hello everyone, this is Grace here. In this video, we'll be discussing problems relating to operating costing. So this is the specimen operating cost sheet. So in this format will explain us how to solve a problems and how to allocate the expenses which is occurred in each problem related to transport costing. So operating cost sheet, period, number of cost units, vehicle number, cost unit. If those information is given in the problem, it should be mentioned there. Then particulars, total per kilometer. A total and per kilometer varies based on the question what they have asked. It can be per kilometer, per month, per ton, anything, so it varies. So but these particular items, fixed cost is also called as standing cost. So under fixed cost we will be considering garage rent, road taxes, insurance, manager's salary, office expense, interest on capital, driver's wages. So all the expenses which remains fixed irrespective of whatever you produce or irrespective of whatever service you are rendering. These costs remain same. So next is variable or running cost. So variable or running cost considers here depreciation, petrol or diesel, lubricating oil, repairs and maintenance, tires and tubes. So these value keeps on changing based on number of kilometers and based on number of equipment. So for example, petrol expenses, lubricant oil, repairs and maintenance, tires and tubes keeps on changing based on the wear and tear of the particular items or the products which has been used for generating or for rendering services. For example, petrol and diesel based on the number of kilometers you travel. Depreciation based on the additional assets keeps on adding. The depreciation amount also keeps on fluctuating. So lubricating oil is used so that the machine functions well without any particles being interrupted while the machine is working on. So this oil makes a smooth flow of the machine. Then repairs and maintenance keeps on changing based on the number of machines increases and based on expansion of the business. Tires and tubes based on wear and tear of the tires, it keeps on fluctuating and the cost for it will not remain same based on number of units you produce, number of vehicles, the tires and tubes keeps on fluctuating. So these are your variable costs. Fixed cost is also called as standing charges and variable cost is called as running cost. So now let us get into the problem. So your first problem 4.1, a transport company is running a fleet of 6 buses between two towns 75 kilometers apart. Seating capacity of each bus is 40 passengers. The following particulars are available for the month of June 2006. Wages of driver, conductors and cleaners, salaries of office and other staffs, diesels and other oils, repairs and maintenance, taxation, insurance, etc., depreciation, interest on capital. Then they have given actual passengers were 80% of the seating capacity. So what is the seating capacity? 40 passengers. So only 80% of the passengers are been 80% is their actual passenger which has been carried out. All buses ran on all days of the month. Each bus made one round trip per day. Find out the cost per passenger kilometer. So first we will calculate passenger per kilometer. So for that solution, passenger kilometers for the month are calculated as under number of distances, number of buses, distance, trips. Distance includes distances, trips, and number of days, and capacity of each bus and actual capacity should be multiplied. So number of buses, how many buses are there? There are 6 buses of between two towns 75 kilometers apart. So 6 buses with 75 kilometers and then we have all days. So buses all ran on all days. So we will be taking 30 days as an average. If they tell in a month, we will be considering always 30 days. So 30 days and number of trips. Each bus made one round trip in the sense from the starting point to end point one trip and again coming back. That is known as one round trip. So it is 2. So 2 trips are being made. So one round trip in the sense they're going and they're coming back. So it is 2. So number of buses, number of total distances covered, number of trips, and number of that is the kilometers. Distance is nothing but the kilometers, and number of trips and number of days will be considered. With that, we will be multiplying the actual capacity, that is your actual capacity of the buses. 40 passengers the capacity of the bus, but actually I've taken only 80% of the seating capacity. So we will be taking 6 into 75 is the distance. We can 75 is the distance, then capacity of each bus is 40 into actual capacity utilized, which is 80%, into number of trips, that is 2 trips, into number of days. When you multiply, you will be getting 8 lakh 64,000 passenger per kilometers. So they have been traveled 8 lakh 64,000 passenger per kilometer in so it is 8 lakh 64,000 passenger kilometers for a month. So now, using the other information, we have calculated total passenger kilometers. So using the other information, we will be finding out, we will be finding out what is the total cost. So here the total cost is will be calculated by taking all your expenses. Then they have asked us in the question to find out the cost per passenger kilometer. So for one passenger, what is the cost is being asked by us to be found out. So we will find out that operating cost sheet for month of June 2006, standing charges, which is nothing but your fixed expenses. So in your fixed expenses, which has been the expenses which is given here in the question, the fixed expenses are wages of drivers and conductors and cleaners will remain fixed. So wages is fixed cost, salaries is also fixed, diesel and other oils keeps on changing, so it is variable, repairs and maintenance is variable, taxation and insurance is fixed, depreciation is variable, interest on capital is fixed. So taxation and insurance is fixed because tax remains same where you keep on paying every year. Insurance remains fixed because based on the insurance premium policies how much you have taken, based on that it remains same. So now we have already calculated the total passenger kilometers. We will only calculate the cost now using the operating cost sheet. So standing charges, wages of drivers 3,600 is being taken. Then salaries of office and other staff 1,500. Diesel and other oils 10,320. Taxation and insurance 2,400. Interest on capital is 3,000. So interest on capital is also fixed charges because interest on capital in the sense you have borrowed capital from, might be it can be a loan or it can be a borrowed for long-term funds which has been borrowed from anyone, where you need to pay interest on that capital what you have borrowed, that capital which you have invested into the business, where you pay monthly interest. So it keeps on, it remains the same interest, a certain percentage is charged on the loan amount what you have taken. So it is your fixed charges. So it will not change whatever you do. You stop your business or you don't run your business, that cost remains same. So it comes under your standing charges. So how much is it? 3,000. So the total of fixed expenses is 3,600 plus 1,500 plus 2,400 plus 3,000 will give you 10,500. Then we have variable charges. Under variable, we will be taking diesels and other oils 10,320, repairs and maintenance 1,200, depreciation 3,900. So the total of your variable charges is 15,420. So now your total standing as well as your running expenses, that is variable expense, comes up to a total 10,500 plus 15,420, which gives you 25,920. So this is your total cost. We can find out what is the per passenger kilometer cost, that is for one passenger how much is it, by dividing this total cost with the total passenger kilometers what you have calculated. So your total cost per passenger kilometer is equal to total cost divided by number of passenger kilometer. So your number of passenger kilometer is 8,64,000 passenger kilometers. Your cost is 25,920 divided by number of passenger kilometers 8,64,000 passenger kilometers, which will give you 3 paise. So the next problem we will be discussing. Before getting into the next problem, the answer what we have got for this is 0.03, which is nothing but 3 paise. So the next problem what we are going to discuss is problem 4.3. Under problem 4.3, from the following data, compute the cost per running mile. Cost of vehicle, road license annually is given. Cost of vehicle is given rupees 25,000. Road license annual amount is given, and insurance annual amount, garage annual amount, supervision and salaries is given. Then driver's wages per hour, cost of fuel per gallon, uh, per gallon in the sense like your per kilometer. In the same way it is per gallon here. Miles run, repairs and maintenance per mile is given. Tire allocation per mile. Estimated life of vehicle, miles are given 1 lakh. Then mileage run, annual 15,000 is given. Then charge interest at 5% per annum on cost of vehicle. The vehicle runs 20 miles per hour on an average. So 5% per annum is the interest which is being charged. So now here, road license is annual, so it will come uh, under your fixed expenses. Then insurance will come under your fixed. Garage rent, as it is annual, it will come under fixed. Supervision and salaries will always be fixed. Driver's wages per hour, as it is per hour, it keeps on changing based on number of hours he works. Then cost of fuel per kilometer, so how many kilometers it has traveled, keeps on changing, so it will appear in your variable cost. Miles run per gallon, that is the total kilometers what they have given here. Repairs and maintenance will come under variable cost. Tire allocation, tire changes per mile, so based on miles it keeps on changing, so the tire keeps on changing based on so many miles it has been traveled, so it comes under variable. Estimated life of vehicle and mileage run will be used in calculation of your depreciation. So let us get into the solution for it. So here what they have asked us exactly is, they have asked us to compute the cost per running mile. So here we don't have any passengers involved here. As the previous problem we had passengers and we calculated passenger per kilometer. So here everything is related to a particular kilometers a vehicle is been running. So we need to calculate the cost per running mile. So for 1 mile how much is it costing? So based on only kilometers it has to be calculated. So operating cost sheet, fixed cost per annum. So mileage run is 15,000 per annum, so which is mentioned, mileage run annually is 15,000. So now road license as per the question which is shown here is 850. Then insurance 700, garage rent 500, supervision and salaries 1,200. So road license 850, insurance 700, garage rent 500, supervision salary 1,200. We have in the question interest on capital 5%. So what is the capital? That is cost of vehicle. You have bought the cost of vehicle for 25,000. So interest on that capital will be 25,000 into 5% will give you 1,250. So the total of it will give you 4,500 is your total fixed cost. So 4,500 is your total fixed cost. We need to find out your per mile cost uh, for this fixed cost. So now what is the total miles the vehicle is running is mileage run annual is 15,000. So 15,000 miles it is running. So now 4,500 divided by 15,000 will give you for 1 mile what is the fixed cost, which is 0.30. Next is our running cost items. So running cost will be driver's wages per hour, which is 30. Next we have cost of fuel per gallon. So driver's wages per hour is rupees 30. So according to this, the vehicle runs 20 miles per hour. So as it runs 20 miles per hour, then for 1 hour it runs for 20 miles, and the driver's wages for 1 hour is 30 rupees. In the question they have clearly mentioned that 20 miles per hour on an average. So here driver's wages per hour, so that means for per hour driver's wages is rupees 30, which is for 20 miles. So we are supposed to find out cost per running mile. So for 1 mile how much is it? For 20 miles they have given it is 30 rupees. You are preparing the cost sheet to find out what is the cost per mile. So for 1 mile how much is it, we are finding out. So this is the cost for 20 miles because they have clearly mentioned per hour rupees 30. 20 miles is for per hours. So that means for 1 hour it is costing 30, and which runs for 20 miles. So for 1 mile how much is it? We will calculate by dividing the 20 miles. So driver's wages 30 is the cost divided by 20 will give you 1.50. Next is your fuel. Cost of fuel per gallon. Gallon is something where you buy a liquid that can be a petrol or diesel in a bulk. That is in a lump sum you buy that. So based on the working condition of the industry, how many liters you want in a day, based on that you will be buying in a lump sum the petrol or diesel. So here they have given per gallon is rupees 30. So it can be how many ever gallons there, but you are buying for 1 gallon 30. So you will divide it by miles, that is divided by 20 miles. So 20 miles is the average miles that the vehicle is running for an hour. So we will divide by 20 miles. So 30 divided by 20 again will give you 1.50. Next we have repairs and maintenance. They have given directly per mile. So there is nothing for us to be converted because we are finding the cost per mile, which is 1.75, which has been taken here 1.75. Next we have tire allocation per mile, which is directly given for mile 0.70. Next, tire allocation 0.70. Next, depreciation. So depreciation will be charged based on the total value of the asset divided by the estimated life of the vehicle. As the estimated life of the vehicle is given in miles, we will directly divide the cost of vehicle divided by estimate life of the vehicle. So 25,000 divided by estimated life of the vehicle in miles is 1 lakh miles. So 25,000 divided by 1 lakh miles will give you 0.25. So for 1 mile it is 0.25 is the depreciation. So now this is your running cost. So 1.50 plus 1.5 plus 1.75, 0.70, 0.25 will give you 5.70. So this is your running cost. So the total cost per running mile is, we have already found out the cost per mile here. So we will add both. So A is that is tan fixed cost per mile is 0.30 plus running cost per mile is 5.70. The total of it will give you 6. So 6 is the cost which is incurred for running a vehicle for 1 mile. So the next problem is problem 4.4. From the following data relating to two different vehicles A and B, compute the cost per running mile. Mileage A, vehicle B. Then they've given us mileage annual for A and for B is given, cost of vehicle is given, road license is given, insurance annual is given, garage rent annual, supervision and salaries. So here road license as it is given for annual, fixed insurance also fixed, garage rent is also fixed, supervision and salary is also fixed, driver wages is variable, cost of fuel is variable, miles run per gallon is the total miles which has been run, repairs and maintenance per mile, which is variable, tire allocation per mile which is variable, estimated life of the vehicle is the used for finding out the depreciation. So what they have asked to find out is the cost per running mile. It is similar to the previous problem, but there are two vehicles here. So let us get into the solution. So operating cost sheet for the year ending, number of cost units, that is A 15,000 miles, for B it is 4,000 miles. That is from here we have got mileage run annual is 15,000 and 6,000. So 15,000 and 6,000 has been taken. Fixed cost for vehicle A for and vehicle B. So road license which is for annual 750 and insurance 700 is taken. 750 and insurance 700. And for B it is 750 and 400 is the insurance. Then we have garage rent, for A it is 600 and for B it is 500, 600 and 500. Then we have supervisor's salary 12,000 and 1,200. So if both are 1,200, supervision salary 1,200 and 1,200. So the total will give us to 4,500 for vehicle A and for vehicle B. So as your total cost for vehicle A is 4,500, for vehicle B it is 3,600. So our question is to find out cost per mile. So what is the total number of mile in the question is, we have 15,000 miles, and here we have 6,000 miles which has been incurred. 15,000 miles is the annual miles which has been run by vehicle A, and 6,000 miles for vehicle B. So we will be dividing that total cost with these miles. So for A, which is 4,500, so 4,500 divided by 15,000. So 4,500 divided by 15,000 will give you 4,500 divided by 15,000 will give you 0.30. Next we have 3,600 divided by 6,000, which will give you 0.60 is the cost per mile for your fixed cost. Then for variable expenses we have driver's wages per hour. As they have given the vehicles run 20 miles per hour, so and for 1 mile how much is it? Because the base or the we need to find out cost per running mile. So our base will always be miles, number of miles. So direct wages per hour is 3 and 3. So 3 divided by 20, which will give you 3 divided by 20, which will give you 0.15. So for both it is 3 hours, so 0.15, and for B it is 0.15. Next we have fuel cost per gallon, so 3 per gallon, so 3 divided by 20, which will give you 0.5 for both. I'm sorry, fuel cost per mile. The mile varies here. So your fuel cost, which is rupees 3 and rupees 3 here, the number of miles varies, which is 20 for A and which is 15 for B. So 20 for A and 15 for B. It keeps on sorry. So 3 divided by 20 will give you 0.15. 3 divided by 15 will give you 0.20. Then we have miles run per gallon. So miles run per gallon is the miles which you have run for 1 hour. That is for per gallon how many miles it is run is mentioned here, which is 20 miles and 15 miles. So that is only for calculating or for dividing. Next, repairs and maintenance per mile. So repairs and maintenance per mile is 1.6565 and 2 for vehicle B. So they have given mile for 1 mile itself. So we'll be directly taking it 0.165 and 2. Then we have tire allocation per mile is given, which is 0.80 and 0.60. So 0.80 and 0.60 is taken. Next we have depreciation. So depreciation is we need to have the worth cost of the asset, which is 25,000 for vehicle A, and for vehicle B it is 15,000. So then we need to have estimated life of vehicle, which is 1 lakh and 75,000. So here cost of vehicle 25,000 divided by estimated life of the vehicle. So 25,000 divided by the estimated life of the vehicle, which is 1 lakh, which will give you 0.25. So we will be taking 0.25. And for B, the estimated cost of the vehicle is 15,000 divided by 75,000, which would give you 0.20. So 0.20. So we have missed one item, that is charge for interest at 5% per gallon. So your cost of the vehicle is 25,000 for A. 25,000 into 5%, 6,250. So interest on cost of the vehicles. The cost of vehicle for A is 25,000. So 25,000 into 5% will give you 1,250. Then again we have vehicle B, which has the cost of vehicle, which is 15,000. 15,000 into 25%, 15,000 into 25%, which will give you 750. Sorry, 15,000 into 5%, which will give you 750, which has been taken here. So the total cost comes to 4,500, and for vehicle B 3,600. So divided by the number of miles which has been traveled annually, which is 15,000 and 6,000, you will be getting for A 0.30, vehicle B 0.60. So now we have got your variable cost as well. With your variable cost, we will add up your variable cost. For A you will be getting 3, for B you will be getting 3.15. so this is your variable cost per mile. So fixed it is 0.30 for A and 3 for variable is 3 for A. So the total when you add up you get 3.30. For vehicle B, fixed cost per mile is 0.60, variable cost per mile is 3.15, which will give you 3.75. The next problem is problem 4.5. So Union Transport Company supplies the following details in respect of a truck of 5-ton capacity. Cost of truck is rupees 90,000, estimated life is 10 years. Diesel and oil grease is rupees 15,000 per trip each way. Repairs and maintenance rupees 500 per month. Cleaners wages 250 per month. Drivers wages 500 per month. Insurance 4,800 per month. Tax 2400 per month. General supervision charges 4800 per year. Insurance tax is also for 2400 per year, and insurance is for 4800 per year. The truck carries goods to and from city covering a distance of 50 miles each way. While going to the city, the freight is available to the extent of full capacity, and on return 20% of capacity. Assuming that the truck run on an average 25 days a month, work out operating cost per ton mile and rate per trip that a company should charge if profit of 50% on freight is to be earned. So we need to calculate, two calculations are here. First we will find out operating cost per ton mile. So per ton mile means everything should be in ton, and the rate we should convert everything into per ton mile. So now first we will start up with your classification of fixed and variable. So cost of truck estimated life will be used for depreciation calculation. Diesel and oil grease is your variable. Repairs and maintenance is variable. Cleaners wages and drivers wages per month is given, so it will be under fixed. Insurance will be under fixed. Tax will be under fixed. General supervision charges will also be under fixed. So now let us work out your operating cost statement for the month ending. Ton miles is 7500 miles. So how did we get 7500 miles? Is ton miles are computed as under. So we will multiply the number of miles which is covered and how many goods are being carried out. By multiplying that, we will number of days by as it is there in the formula, ton miles, number of days, number of trips, total number of distances, total capacity which is being taken, we will be getting our tons miles. So we will do the calculation first. So here number of miles which is being, that is distance, is 50 miles. Tons which is carried is 5 tons. Then they have stated while going to the city full capacity was carried, that is full 5 tons were carried, and on return only 20% of the capacity. So what is the capacity which is given in the question is Union Transport Company supplies the following details in respect of a truck of 5 ton capacity. So it was carrying 5 ton capacity while going to the city. While returning it back, the freight was on 20% of the capacity. So it will vary here. So actual is 5 and while coming back it is 20%. So it will be 50 into 5. So first while going it is 50 miles, that they have clearly stated. The truck carries goods to and from city covering a distance of 50 miles each way. So each way it's covering 50 miles, that is for one trip it is covering 50 miles. So 50 into 5, first while going it is 50 into 5, it is carrying 5 tons, which will give you 250. Then while returning it back the other 50 miles, but the goods capacity is 20%. So 5 into 20% will give you 1. So that will be 50 into 1. So while going 50 into 5, while coming back 50 into 1. So the calculation is here 50 into 5, that is 50 kilometers, that is 50 miles into 5 tons, which has been calculated while going, and while coming 50 miles into 1. 1 is because of the 20% capacity is been coming out. So 5 into 20, out of the total tons of 5 into 20% is 1. So 1 ton, so 50 into 1. And number of days it has been traveling, which is mentioned in the question, assuming that the truck run on average of 25 days a month. So if it is a month, we would be taking 30, but here they have given clearly the number of days, which is 25 days. So when we multiply 50 into 5, we'll get 250 plus 50 into 1, which will be getting 50. So 250 plus 50 will give 250 plus 50 will give you 300. 300 into 25 days will give you 7500 ton miles. So that is how we have got ton miles, which is 7500. So now as we'll classify our expenses. Driver's wages, if it is per hour, it will appear in the variable, and cleaner's wages, if it is per hour, it keeps on fluctuating based on the number of hours they work. As it is per month, we will be considering it in your fixed expenses. So driver's wages, which is 500 per month, and cleaner's wages 250 per month, And we have insurance 4,800 per year is given. So first let us take our driver's wages and cleaner's wages 500 and 250. So insurance here is 4,800 per year. Per year we'll be dividing it by 12. So 4,800 divided by 12, uh, which will give you as per the calculation rupees 400. Next we have taxes. Taxes is 2,400. So 2,400 divided by 12, which will give you for per month, which is 200 is being taken. Then we have general supervision, which is 4,800. So 4,800 divided by 12 will give you 400, so which has been taken here. So we have converted everything into the month. So 500 plus 250 plus 400 plus 200 plus 400 will give you 1,750. So now this 1,750 will be converted into miles, because as the question states operating cost per ton mile. So we have calculated ton miles, total ton miles. So we'll be dividing with the total cost to find out per ton mile for your fixed cost. So 1,750 divided by 7,500. 1,750 1,750 divided by 7,500, which will give you 0.2333. So we have got the fixed cost ton per mile, per ton mile. Then we have running cost or variable cost. In running or variable cost we have diesel rupees 15 per trip each way. So it is rupees 15 per trip each way. So the calculation will be, so 15 rupees 15 per trip each way. So usually the trip will be two ways, so there will always be two trips in any travel or transportation which is done. So for one trip it is 15 rupees, so there are two trips going and coming back. So 15 into 2 into 25 days. So the diesel for per trip is rupees 15 for two trips, and for 25 days that will give you the amount for 1 month. So we will be calculating that. So it is 15 into 2 into 25, that is 25 days, which will give you 750. So next is our repairs and maintenance. As they have given per month, we will directly take here repairs and maintenance 500. Then we have depreciation. So depreciation here, to calculate depreciation, the cost of the asset divided by estimated life. So this when we divide 90,000 divided by 10, we will get a depreciation for 1 year. But we have taken everything based on month, so we need to convert it into month. So 90,000 divided by 10, which will give you 9,000. So 9,000 is the depreciation for 1 year. So as the 9,000 is depreciation for 1 year, 9,000 divided by 12 months, we will get depreciation for 1 month, which is 750. So 9,000 divided by 10, which will give you depreciation for the year, so which will give you 9,000. So 9,000 divided by 12 to find out for 1 month how much is it, which will give you 750. So 750 diesel oil expenses plus 500 of repairs and maintenance plus depreciation of 750 will give you a total of 2,000. So 2,000 divided by 7,500 to find out per ton mile, which will give you 2,000 divided by 7,500, which will give you 0.266, which can be converted as 0.267. So the total per ton mile for our operating cost sheet of this transportation is 0.500. So now we have done with the first point, calculation operating cost per ton mile is done. Now the second one is rate per trip that a company should charge if profit of 50% on freight is to be earned. So on freight, if there is 50% hike, what is the profit the company will earn? So calculation of freight rate per ton mile and quotation. So cost per ton mile is rupees 0.50. Profit per ton mile is 50% of the freight is 100% on cost. So how are we going to calculate this is, so the calculation of freight rate per ton goes like this: cost per ton, which we have got, cost per ton mile, which we have got from this table, 0.50. And in our adjustment they have stated that while rate per trip that the company should charge if profit of 50% on freightage is to be earned. So what is freightage in the sense? Freightage is the cost plus profit, which is nothing but the selling price amount is usually called as freightage. So 50% on freightage is given. If a freightage 50% on freightage, that means 50% on selling price. So here what we have done is we have the cost price, we don't have the profit, but the profit is 50% on sales. So we will have a calculation here. Assume sales to be 100%, as the profit is on sales, we'll assume sales to be 100%. So the formula will be cost plus profit is equal to sales. So when sales is 100%, profit is 50%, and the cost will be the balancing figure, which is 50. 100 minus 50 will give you 50. For cost 50%, we know what is the cost price, that is 0.50. For selling price of 100, we don't know what is it, so we will cross multiply. So when we cross multiply, it is 100 into 0.5 divided by 50. So which will give you our missing item, that is for 100% what is the selling price, which is given as 100 into 0.50 divided by 50, which will give us rupees 1. So our selling price is rupees 1. So as we know the cost price, which is 0.50, and profit and selling price is rupees 1, profit is 50% on the selling price. So selling price is 1 into 50%, which will give you 0.50. So cost as well as the profit 0.50, the total will give us selling price. So freight rate per ton mile is rupees 1. So when there is profit earned on the selling price, so when the profit is earned, then the freight rate per, that is the selling price per ton per mile is, which is rupees 1. So 0.50 is the profit which has been added up. So freight rate per trip both ways is rupees 1 into 100 ton miles. So I'm sorry, into 300 ton miles, which will give you rupees 300. So that is for so this is the both the ways charges, which is 300 ton miles. So how did we get 300 is, for each trip for each trip it takes 50 miles, 50 into 5, while going to the destination it takes 5 tons, and while coming back it brings 1 ton. So 50 into 5 and 50 into 1, so the total ton miles is 300 ton miles for 1 day. So into 1, which is the selling price, which will give you rupees 300. So this is the end of the problem. So the next problem is problem number 7. So Joseph owns a fleet of taxi, and following information is available from the records maintained by him. Number of taxis is 100. Cost of each taxi is rupees 20,000. Salary of manager is rupees 600 per month. Salary of accountant is rupees 500 per month. Salary of cleaner is rupees 200 per month. Then salary of mechanic rupees 400 per month. Garage rent rupees 600 per month. Insurance premium 5% per annum. Annual tax rupees 600 per taxi. Driver salary is rupees 200 per month per taxi. Annual repairs rupees 1000 per taxi. So total life of a taxi is 2 lakh kilometers. A taxi runs in all 3000 kilometers in a month, of which 30% it runs empty. Petrol consumption is 1 liter for 10 kilometers at 11.80 per liter. Oil and other sundries are rupees 5 per 100 kilometers. Calculate the cost of running per taxi. So now in this we will classify which is our fixed and variable. Salary of manager is fixed. Salary of accountant and cleaner is also fixed. Salary of mechanic is fixed. Carriage rent is fixed. Insurance is fixed. Annual tax is also fixed, and driver's salary, as it is per taxi, it fluctuates, and annual repairs also comes under variable. So driver's salary and annual repairs will come under variable. Sorry, if it is driver's wages, it will come under variable, as it is mentioned driver's salary, which will come under fixed. So almost all the items belong to fixed, only annual repairs, and we will check out whether there are any other variable expenses. Total life of a taxi is rupees 2 is 2 lakh kilometers. A taxi run in all 3000 kilometer in a month, of which 30% it runs empty. Petrol consumption is 1 liter for 10 kilometers at 11.80 per liter. So there is petrol consumption. Petrol comes under variable expenses. Next, oil and other sundries rupees 5 per kilometer. So we have oil and other sundry expenses also, so it will come under variable. Calculate the cost of running a taxi per kilometer. So we need to calculate the cost of taxi running per kilometer. So let us get into our cost sheet. So in our cost sheet, operating cost sheet for the period, particulars per month and per ton. So fixed cost, per month and per kilometer. Fixed cost per for 10 taxis. So for 10 taxis we will be calculating all the fixed expenses. So manager's salary, as per the question, is salary of a manager is rupees 600, so we will be taking 600. Then we have some salary of accountant rupees 500, so 500 is taken here. Then salary of cleaner, is 200, 200 has been taken. Then we have salary of mechanic rupees 400. Then we have garage rent rupees 600. So the total gives us to 2300. So we have totaled up this because all the expenses are for a month. So we will calculate total up for the month expenses first. Then for month we have totaled up all the expenses, which will give us 2300. So 2300 is the total cost which has been incurred. So out of this 2300, we will divide for one taxi, how much is it? So fixed cost per taxi 2300 divided by 10, which will give you 230. So 230 is the cost for one taxi, because the question has asked us to calculate running a taxi per kilometer. So running one taxi for 1 kilometer, what is the cost has been asked. Next, we will be taking insurance. Insurance 5% per annum. So, what is the cost of the asset? So, the cost of the asset is rupees 20,000. So, 20,000 into 5% will give you 20,000 into 5%. 20,000. 20,000 into 5%. 5% will give you 1000. So out of 1000 we will be taking only for 1 month. So for 1 month we need to divide it by 12, so where we will be getting 83.33. So 20,000 into 5% into 1 divided by 12 to find out the insurance premium which is paid for 1 month. Next we will be taking, as per the question, the next item is annual tax rupees 600 per taxi. So it is 600. It is rupees 600 for 1 month, as it is mentioned annual tax. So taxes per taxi is 600 divided by 12. As it is for annual, we will divide by 12 to find out for the for 1 month how much is it. So 600 divided by 12 will give you rupees 50. So 50 is the tax which you paid for monthly basis. Next we have driver's salary, which is rupees 200 per month per taxi. So driver's wages directly, as it is given for month, we will be taking 200. So the total of your fixed expenses 230 plus 83.33 plus 50 plus 200 will give you 563.33. So what they have asked us to calculate the cost of running a taxi per kilometer. So how many kilometers is a taxi running? Total life of a taxi is 2 lakh kilometer. A taxi runs in all 3000 kilometers in a month. So it runs for, in a month, as we have calculated for a month, it runs for 3000 kilometers in a month, of which 30% it runs empty. So the total kilometers it runs for 3000 kilometers, but in that 30% of it runs is empty. That is without any passengers in it, which runs empty. 30% of it is empty, which doesn't generate any income out of it. So 3000 kilometers which is effectively used is only 70% is being effectively used. 30% it runs empty. So 3000 into 30%, that is 3000 less 30%. So 3000 minus 30% will give you 2100 kilometers which has been effectively used where the taxi runs effectively, so which is 2100. So how did we get 2100 is 3000 minus or less 30%, that is you can also take 3000 into 70%, which will give you 2100. We have minus 30% to find out what is the effectively the taxi runs, so which is 2100 kilometers. So total fixed cost is 563 in 0.33 divided by 2100 will give you 0.27. So next we will be taking our variable cost per kilometer. We can take our depreciation first. So total life of a taxi is 2000 kilometers. The cost of the taxi is 20,000. So 20,000 divided by 1,40,000. So how did we get 1,40,000 is 2 lakh kilometers. So total life of the taxi travels is for 2 lakh kilometers, out of which 30% has been run empty. So we will minus 30%. So when we minus 30% out of 2 lakh, we will get 1,40,000. Or we can also multiply 2 lakh into 70%, we will get 1,40,000. So 2 lakh divided by 1,40,000 will give us 0.14. Next we have petrol. So petrol is given here. Petrol consumption is 1 liter for 10 kilometers at rupees 11.80 per kilometer. So it takes 1 liter for 10 kilometers at rupees 11.80 per kilometer. So which is for 10 kilometers at 11.80, which means that then for 3000 kilometers how much is it? So taxi runs for 3000 kilometers in a month, so we will cross multiply. So for 10 kilometer it is 11.80. For 3000 how much is it? Cross multiplication will give us 3000 into 11.80 divided by 10, or it can also be 3000 into 11.80 divided by 10. We will be getting 3540 per month. So 3540 kilometers, it is rupees 3540 per month is the price for price of the petrol which is being charged for 3000 kilometers. So for 3000 kilometers it is 3540. We need to find out for 2100 kilometers that is effectively used for 2100 kilometers, what is the cost, that is per effective kilometer. So rupees 3540 divided by 2100 kilometer, which will give you for effectively used kilometers 2100 kilometers, it is 1.69. so 1.69 is the cost per running cost per mile of the petrol charges. So next is repairs. So when we go to repairs, it is mentioned that annual repairs is rupees 1000 per taxi. So annual is rupees 1000 per taxi. So 1000 divided by 2100. So 1000 divided by 2100 will give us the repairs for 2100 kilometers. So that answer divided by 12, which will give us for 1 month what is the cost. So 1000 divided by 2100, 1000 divided by 2100, which will give us 0.476 divided by 12, which will give us 0.039, which is nothing but 0.04. Next we have oils and other charges. So oil and other sundries are rupees 5 per 100 kilometers. So it is 5 for 100 kilometers. And for 3000 kilometers, how much is it? So it is rupees 5 for 100 kilometers, and for 3000 kilometers how much is it, we will be calculating. So that is nothing but the same cross multiplication. For 100 kilometers it is 5, then for 3000 kilometers how much is it, a question mark. So 3000 into 5 divided by 100, which will give you 150. So which will give you 150. So 150 kilometers, 150 is the oil charges. For 2100 kilometers we will divide 2100, so we'll be getting 0.07. so this is the cost per kilometer. So the total cost is 2.20. That is your fixed cost, which is 0.27, 0.14 variable, 1.69 for petrol, and 0.04 for repairs, and oil and sundries, which is 0.07, which will give you 2.27. So this is the total cost which is this is to be calculated, or this is the cost of running a taxi per kilometer. Thank you everyone. The other problems will be discussed in the next video.